So I wanted to do a video series that's kind of going to move throughout the year, and for each cusp we get, I want to kind of create a video that kind of emulates the contributing factors of those two signs, of like what maybe you can expect, or maybe how that person um, can kind of how that person really comes across. Yeah, just like overall traits of the two signs. So when I say a cusp is the transition period between the end of one zodiac sign and the beginning of another. So it's going to fall right in like the span of like um, maybe like not even a week time. So it's really showing that that person that's born on a cusp or a cusper, their sun sign is really kind of represented by two signs in a way. You're always going to be fully in one sign. You can't be born in two. It's either going to be, like 29 degrees the one, or 0 degrees the other. It's going to have one sun. You're going to have one sun sign, but you're still going to have traits from both that are going to kind of factor into your personality and going to kind of be like the shape that your life takes, and how other people see you with that sun energy. So when we talk about Leo Virgos, these are the people that are typically born between August 19th through the 25th. And that is called the cusp of exposure. So the reason why it's called the cusp of exposure is, one, you have your Leo energy, which is represented by the sun. So you have like this immense sunlight, this illuminating power that kind of like leads the way for others. It shines through the darkness. It gives other people hope and inspires others. And it also kind of reveals things. So that really ties into the Virgo attributes, which are all about what's hidden, the secrets. It's kind of almost like complexity in a way with that Mercury energy. And what's interesting too is that Mercury is the closest to the sun, so it can be like a very natural combination. But in the sense of leadership, in a way, it's not so natural, because Virgos are very, very private individuals, where Leos revel in the spotlight. They have that conviction and that purpose to be in a position where they have like attention. Virgos really don't. That's not natural to them, and they don't like the limelight. They don't like the spotlight. They don't really have a big ego or anything like that. Not that all Leos do, but it's something that's a little more common to Leos, because, like I said, they have a sense of purpose, more so, where a Virgo just kind of likes to do the detailed behind-the-scenes work, doesn't really like to be recognized, would really just want to work hard at the end of each day and just be confident in that. And when you combine the two, it could really create leaders out there that are very critical. Hopefully they're not to the nth degree where they're just kind of spewing out criticisms at people underneath them, and it's not really in an encouraging way. So that's something to look out for Leo Virgos, is that person should be using that gift, that ability to encourage others and to inspire them to kind of work against their struggles, or whatever that kind of holds them back. And Leo Virgos should be easily see what's missing or what needs to be worked on, because of that sun energy, and then that Mercury is that thought, those ideas. So it's the sun is just constantly illuminating like all of these ways to fix things, and like the action that needs to be taken, basically. So what really is comprised here is kind of like They say Leo Virgos have a tendency to play hide and seek, and not literally in the sense. I mean, I actually really was fond of the game when I was younger, and I'm a Leo Virgo. I always feel like I could pick the best hiding spots. I don't know why they would just be like things that I feel like people would just never think of. And I think that's probably very Virgo, is very calculating nature. Yeah, so like that unexpected thing or situation, and then finding that, and then the Leo is the seeking, it's the revealing. So um, they play hide and seek emotionally. They hold on to things and they kind of wait for the right moment to reveal something, whether it's a criticism or just an idea. They kind of they don't. Maybe like an Aries would be like they would say it right as it comes to them. A Leo Virgo waits a little bit, and they're more diplomatic in nature, so they want to wait for the right time to where it has the most impact. So when you're making an encouraging speech or something, you want to get that timing is almost more important than what you have to say. Sometimes is like how it comes across, and so um, body language. Tone, all those things are really like instrumental in kind of presenting a concept or a perspective. And so Leo Virgos will notice that stuff very easily. They'll kind of paint a picture of what someone is presenting to them and kind of see exactly the missing pieces or if they're lying or things like that. So they really, really pay attention to those details that maybe most other people kind of just overlook at first glance. And so they see a lot of possibilities with those, and but it can hold them back too because they can get very inside their heads, and get kind of maybe worried that they didn't pick the right time for something, that it could have had more of an impact, that they shouldn't have said that thing that they did. So, because that Virgo is definitely a worrywart, and the Leos really don't like to offend people. Um, Not that they're like Libras in a sense where they want everyone to get along, but I think they don't unnecessarily want to offend somebody. And that's kind of, they don't really mind negative attention because ultimately it's necessary. Um, Everyone can't root for the same person. There's got to be different sides. There has to be a balance. But I think as often as they can avoid hurting other people's feelings, they will, because Leos do wear their heart on their sleeves. They put it all out there, just like the sun. It's very authentic in the way that they express themselves to others. A lot of people can probably see it as a little almost like too careless, because especially like Virgos are much more calculating about expressing their true selves and their inner nature. So that's a weird kind of dynamic that the Leo Virgo cusp can kind of bring out in people, is like this urge to say how you truly are and feel, but then like this shy nature that doesn't really want others to kind of know all of that, because you feel more vulnerable. So it's like this, like, I guess I can see that hide and seek nature for sure. So they really wait for the right time to kind of reveal those insights and their true stance on a subject, or what they were truly thinking or feeling at that time. So that can be definitely a strength, but also a weakness. And the Leo Virgos, like, just think of Bill Clinton. He was a Leo Virgo, and he is still admired by a lot by being this great leader and everything, but his whole personal life was completely put in the spotlight, and it was just like it kind of overtook everything good that he was doing in his campaign, and that's still, I think, what most people remember him for, is for the scandal, and not necessarily like what he accomplished in his presidency. And that's very much of like the damage that the cusp of exposure can do to somebody. It's when you almost have to do the right thing, because you just never know when that spotlight's going to hit you. Um, and it's like for him, unfortunately, it really kind of overthrew, like I said, like all those good things that he had accomplished. And it was just a really big karma moment for him, and I mean the whole world saw it. And so it's kind of like that. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be that degree to everybody, but there's going to be times throughout your life where you're going to be in a situation where you especially didn't want the attention. Maybe it's something embarrassing. Um, I had a lot of embarrassing moments when I was in high school, and that I wish, like, I don't know why they were attracted into my life, and but I really didn't. I didn't cope with them well, and I think maybe that was more so kind of the lesson is like how to not take it so detrimentally, like not giving it so much power, because you don't have control over everything. And I think in those moments it's really important to show others that you embrace kind of the unexpected or negative attention, because you can move through it quicker. So that's definitely a big thing that'll come up about in your life if you're a Leo Virgo, is that you're going to be thrust in the spotlight sometimes and not be prepared for it. And it can be extremely scary. You're going to want to go in your shell. You're going to want to just be by yourself, and this could probably isolate a lot of Leo Virgos out there that their true purpose is to lead others, but they really they retreat more so into a solitary kind of isolated life because they're scared of that attention, and kind of maybe the possibility of it like destroying things or embarrassing you. And so it's important to not give that as much weight. And when you stop doing it, it becomes a lot easier to function in those times. And it's I still haven't gotten there. It's something I'm working on, but I'm becoming more okay with. And I do surround myself with a lot more like extroverted energy. And I don't know, I'm not conscious about it, but I just find like a lot more extroverted personalities around me. And I think they kind of help me show that to not be so embarrassed by things, and just to kind of like let the moment happen, because you really can't control like what fate's going to throw your way. And so I think that's kind of the real message, to not be so shy. Now, you can get the reverse side of that to where some people use the gift of exposure, and to harm others or for malicious purposes. So you can reveal their struggles or their inadequacies in a bad way. Maybe you are a bully in a way, or you're using that for personal gain. And you're not really being responsible with it and being like a natural leader. You're just kind of criticizing everyone, and kind of like, yeah, not using it appropriately. And so there's always that one or two ways to kind of deal with stuff. So you either find like really introverted individuals, maybe that have a call for leadership, or you find leaders that just like they're kind of abusing their how much they can see with their critical nature, and they're not really inspiring others. More so, they're kind of manipulating them to get what they want. So there's always an extreme when you talk about a sign or an energy. There's always, because we have balance in this world. I mean, one has to exist for the other two. So it's not always going to be the good aspects. So, but yeah, the exposure factor. Let me see what else I had, because yeah, like you really want to think about how something's going to culminate. So maybe you envision like a moment or like something specific happening. So you're always trying to work towards that, and that's where that hide and seek comes in. It's like the way to reveal, like you're waiting to do something at the exact right time. Yeah. So it's finding that like right time that you're not like kind of you're not forcing. It's like it has to be natural, but you also have to like pursue it too. So it's like this. It's weird because fire signs are much more intuitive. They kind of know when to do things, um, and then the earth signs are a little more passive in that they don't necessarily they're not necessarily as driven, but they're hardworking, and so to Virgos, it's not as easy to kind of see in the moment like what needs to be done or said, and so sometimes it can come across as very harsh. Um, and so it's finding that balance between the two signs to kind of navigate those waters. So because Virgos would have like the answers, and then Leo would have like the timing or the instinct. So it would make like a really powerful kind of combination in a way. Um, and then a lot of like Leo Virgos just kind of embody like innocence because you have like childlike nature, and you have someone that wears their heart on their sleeves, and then you have the purity and innocence of a Virgo or a Virgin, and so it's people that I think ultimately are just they do mean well. They're very pure of intent, and it's just when you have like certain aspects in the chart or whatever where some of those individuals just they find a way early on that they can manipulate others with their kind of power um, of exposing things. So, like I said, hopefully that's not the case for most. Um, yeah, but that's pretty much what it is. It's like finding what's hidden. So they love games. They love like board games, and that kind of like allows them to kind of stretch that, revealing things. Yeah, it's just like getting to the answers and um, showing others, how you got there or what you've found out. So that's pretty much what I have for Leo Virgos. I'll put in the comments if anything else like kind of um, comes out to me. But this is the first of the videos, so eventually in a year I'll be able to go through all the cusps. But I just want to wait until that time that it's happening, so it's a little more relevant, especially to the people with the birthdays. So it'll be like kind of like a little birthday treat. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know if you have any suggestion for these videos. Okay.